Hi everyone, James here from Low & Co Realty. Thanks so much for checking in this week. Hey, this week I wanted to talk to you about true market value of your property versus your rateable value. Now, as we know in the Wellington market at the moment, that the rateable values are not an indication of where properties are actually going to sell. And so if you're one of those people that's thinking of selling and thinking, well, how much of a reflection does my rateable value actually have on the selling price? Well, what I've done is a little bit of research over the 5 key regions in Wellington, which will give you an idea percentage-wise of how much properties are selling for above their rateable values. So if we start with the northern suburbs, there's been 80 sales. So this is over the last 3 months. There's been 80 sales in the northern suburbs. The average percentage sales price above rateable value is 38.23%. So almost 40% across all properties above the rateable value. Now, to put a monetary term on that, that's $164,368 above your rateable value on average. Now, in the northern suburbs, that's a lot of sales, and that's a very high percentage, almost 40%, one of the higher percentages of the 5 regions in Wellington. Moving on to the western suburbs, there's been 56 sales there in the last 3 months. The average percentage above rateable value is 29.31, so a little bit lower than the northern suburbs, but the actual monetary amount above RV is $171,795. So I'll see it's slightly higher than the northern suburbs, but that's because property prices are slightly more expensive in the western suburbs. You're taking in suburbs there such as Karori and Kandala. Now, central Wellington, this is really interesting. 59 sales in the last 3 months in central Wellington. Now, why this is interesting is because central Wellington encompasses all of the apartments, and so apartments can have huge price variations right down to $120,000 or $150,000. So you've got a lot of smaller places, which generally brings the figures down compared to the other regions. Now, the percentage above RV, once again over the last 3 months, is 31.36%. So that's pretty high when you consider that there's a lot of lower priced sales in there. When you translate that to the monetary terms, the actual monetary terms are lower. They're $116,937 on average above rateable value, but that does include a lot of lower priced apartments in particular. And so that's a pretty high percentage, which shows once again that everything we're sort of seeing in the market is that apartments are becoming quite popular again. Eastern Wellington or eastern suburbs, 62 sales in the last 3 months, 32.36% above your rateable value on average. The monetary term is quite high though, 182,386, sorry, above your rateable value on average. So that's pretty consistent. The eastern suburbs has been going really well for the last year or so and continues to be very strong. And moving on to the last region is the southern suburbs. 67 sales there over the last 3 months. The average percentage 38%. So once again, similar to the northern region, that's the highest percentage, which shows that the southern suburbs are still very popular. And the also average amount above rateable value is the highest amongst the 5 regions, which is $187,554 above your rateable value on average. So look, hopefully you find all of that some valuable information really. If you're one of those people that are thinking of selling, it's obviously best to get an agent in just to give an indication of a true market value. But that just gives you a percentage across the 5 regions of where properties are selling in Wellington at the moment above their rateable value. Hey, thanks very much for watching this week. We'll see you next time.